guys, I'm Morgan Gold, and I'm a pop artist from Chicago, Illinois. A little bit about myself: I started music a year ago, and this will be my third project being released in just a year. And I don't know, I'm ready to fuck shit up. Is that a professional response? I started writing songs when I was 10 years old, and I've just been inspired by so many different genres over the years growing up. Literally anyone from The Weeknd to Lauryn Hill. My dad and I would listen to The Roots. Got into Grateful Dead and the Beatles when I was still developing my adolescence. And I went to school for comedy because I wanted to be on SNL, and woke up the first day of 2018 and was like, no, I've been writing songs for 10 years, why am I not having this as a career? So that's what happened. And now here I am a year later with Chicago Music and Kevin Baker, and it's pretty dope. My two managers, Kaylin and Caitlin, Caitlin just joined the team, but Kaylin managed me because she needed it for a grade. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a day after I put a post on my Finsta saying, hey, I'm gonna do music, Caitlin hit me up, she's like, hey, if you're serious about it, I'm trying to become a music manager and I need practice by managing an artist. So we became a team, and I started getting booked little shows here and there. I mean, like, that's how I got into the routine of live performing. And then, you know, once you start kind of performing in that community, people start to notice you and they start to hit you up for collaborations and for other projects. And I mean, you know, yeah, it's for school, but it's still an experience. And it's something that's going to teach you something, whether it goes well or not, which is the beauty of it. It's honestly been just a whirlwind of lessons and events, and just a lot of lessons. Like, I had no idea what I was gonna do, who I was gonna meet. I didn't know how I was gonna get any of my music out there. All I knew was that I wanted to make music and that I wanted to do as much as I could in such a short period of time. I don't know why, I just felt like I had to do this right away, right now. Maybe making up for lost time, I don't know. My producer, Jay Kaga, who has, I cannot even describe what that man has taught me. I mean, I've discovered my sound, I've discovered what I want to do because of him, and it's really hard to be in an industry where a lot of outsiders are gonna tell you that it's stupid and that you need a backup plan, but like being around people like him like all the time is just something like, it's really incredible to always wake up and like know that like I can go make music with him because he fucking gets it. And then Caesar Gorgeous, who is become one of my closest friends. He's also an amazing artist, and he's also the label owner of She's So Gorgeous, who I'm a part of as we speak. I literally met these guys 2 years ago. Like, I mean, no, not 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Two of them, met them a year ago. And I mean, we're literally like siblings now. Like, I can't even tell you what that feeling is like to just always be around people who are supporting you and are always looking out for you for the best. And honestly, just using your resources, like I go to Columbia and we're all artists, and like knowing that I can count on one of them to maybe, you know, design a cover, or one to shoot my video, or someone to take pictures of me. It's like that entire community has led me to so many amazing people. King Art, all of the AMP people. I mean, like, I've been really lucky this past year. Usually it's with Jake. I mean, just because we get each other.
I
and
I executive everything too, so it doesn't matter who she goes through. I'm overseeing everything, you know, making sure she's tight.
yeah, just because we have a vision for what we want to do, and it's very like, our minds are very different, but they're so in sync, like especially when we get into the studio. So even if I'm working with like a producer like King Art, who I've been working with for a little bit, like, you know, Jake will be there, he'll make sure that, like, you know, my sound is on. We'll probably mix it and master it too. Like, so like we're all a team and we're a very like small circle, but when I collaborate with like other people, you know, I'm a very adaptable artist. I can go bounce around between genres, bounce around between people, and it's really just about like the experience. And then, you know, as long as the experience there and the vibe is good, then the music that we make, you know, whether it's a hit or not, it's always going to be a good experience. So I just try to look for the best in people. There's like 3 keywords that I have saved for when I'm sending emails to like blogs. I always use stimulating, industrial, unique, and I'd say powerful. Um, you know, like when I first heard Jake's music, I was very captivated, and I kind of knew that, like, you know, I grew up on a lot of like powerful singers, and I watched, like, you know, I watched these huge artists like, you know, Freddie Mercury, like, just dominate the stage. And so I knew, okay, I want to tell stories on platforms as big as that. So I think that my sound is more of an experience at the end of the day, if anything, because I think that if you're not listening to music like wanting a genuine experience, then you're not really listening properly. So I want to try to, you know, emulate that energy in my music as best as I can. So the first EP that I released last year, March 2nd, it was called Unit B. I had never produced anything before, like, ever in my life. I had GarageBand on my laptop, and I'm like, all right, let me try this. So I wrote like 3 songs and produced them by myself, recorded them in my bedroom on a little Audio-Technica mic, like a USB that you plug into your laptop. And the feedback that I got was, I didn't think it was gonna be this good. And that was my favorite thing ever, because I was like, wow, like, if I can surprise people rather than just getting like, oh, good job, like, I'm turning some heads. So I knew I had to keep going. And then Chaos, Chaos was really interesting because I worked with Sherpa Music, who I met through one of my friends, Colin Covert, and he is a very like chill, laid back guy. And I met him like, you know, once, and then after one session, we were like, oh, let's make an EP together. And it's funny because we don't really need to like say anything. We'll come in, he'll show me a really chill beat, and I got to channel more of like this like laid back, emotional, romanticized version of like the dark stories I like to tell. So when I released that, a lot of people were like, oh, this is Chill Morgan, like, this is your sound. And I'm like, no, not yet. But that felt like a really nice release because that was probably the most not cinematic, but it just painted an entirely different picture that I'm not used to. And Sherpa did a wonderful job, and then Jake, you know, he mixed and mastered that, and then it turned out beautiful. And then my singles, people love them. People, every time they hear them, they're like, I can't get it out of my head, which is also the greatest piece of feedback I've ever gotten, because I don't want it to leave people's heads. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this project, but I'm really, really confident that people are really going to listen to this and be like, this is Morgan Gold. This is who she is. I always surprise myself when I write some of these lyrics, like Rebel and Bathroom Tiles off of the project. It took me a really long time to write one of them. It took me 15 minutes to write the other one, but both times I wrote them, I didn't really realize I was telling my own story, because at the time, like, some of the lyrics just didn't make sense to me. But music is kind of the only place where I can tell my story in a way that makes sense. And I try to be as specific as possible, but also as vague as I possibly can, because that way I want my lyrics to be able to relate to everyone who's listening to it. So it's like you could hear a line and it may be about love or maybe about loss, but you know the theme of it, you know the general direction of where I'm going, and it can also, like, it can touch as many people as possible. And that's my mission with my lyrics. at the time, like right after, well, it was funny. So the first song that I wrote off of this, like a full song, was Bathroom Tiles, and that kind of that stimulated this like weird kind of like dark energy. It's like, it's very much like The Weeknd and how he kind of uses like this twisted like version of Euphoria and then kind of puts in this like weird like cinematic twisted evil energy, and I love that shit. I ate it up, and so I really tried to like channel that darkness and that pain into something that seemed beautiful, and then Jake and I's first session was Bathroom Tiles. It was actually Up All Night, but our first like real studio session was Bathroom Tiles, and we slowly kind of put that together as I was finishing up Chaos, and we just kind of wanted to make it as unique as possible, and we wanted to make something that Chicago's never heard, because no one's doing pop in Chicago, and I think that if I'm going to do pop, then it needs to be as real as it possibly can. It needs to talk about, you know, what maybe some like top 40 pop songs may either not touch upon, or maybe just like, you know, kind of hide behind a beat that you can dance to. Like, you know, like I've seen enough You Can Dance To, it's a banger, but like it's also a very meaningful song to me. Like the whole project is about temptation. It's about trying to shake off the weight of your past, but it's doing it in a way that I don't think has ever been done before, which is what's really exciting. There was, in Up All Night, the second time that the bridge comes around, it's like, oh, we feel brand new. Like, Jake didn't even really do that much to it. Like, we were just making the song, and
we recorded that, and then we left and went somewhere, and that's when we came back, and I had no clue what it sounded like, because I just threw that shit in some lanes, and we came back and we played the record, and I heard it, and I screamed at her.
he was like, this is nuts! This is fucking nuts! And I, like, if the neighbors couldn't already hear the blaring music, I really hope that they heard that, because that's passion, my friend. I mean, you know, it's still weird to me to hear my voice over records, because I'm like, this is something that I've always dreamed of, and now that the music's getting really good, it's surreal. And I think especially like hearing some of the, like, I mean, hearing all those tracks come together was just, it felt like a dream. I mean, especially, honestly, like I think for me when Bathroom Tiles came together, because that's probably the darkest song on the track, and just the most personal one, when that came together and Jake knew exactly what to do with it, like that was when it sold me. That's when I really, like, I never didn't believe in the project, but when that song came together, I was like, okay, this is serious. This is the big picture. Honestly, just trying to establish myself here as an artist. We want to put like a little tour together of the artists from She's So Gorgeous, and mainly we want to let Chicago know that we're here. I want to perform as much as I possibly can, get my name out there. We're gonna be working on an album as soon as this project is released, but we really want to take our time with it, because honestly, this will be my third project in a year, plus 2 singles and like 5, 6, I don't know how many features. That's a lot for an artist to do in a year. So after this, I'm really honestly just looking forward to becoming a better musician. You know, honing in on my skills that I got from singing when I was in choir, and just like making sure that I'm like really built to be a full-time singer. Because I've already proven that I'm good. We've already proven that we've got the music and we've got the magic. Now we just need to be consistent about that on a 24/7 basis. And I know I'm not there yet, but I'm hella excited.